Do you know what separates the real God from all the fake deities? It is the fact that he's a living God. Therefore, Haile Jehovah was born on the 23rd day of the 7th month in 1892, and he was crowned with the number 1 at the end of his name. Do you know Allah has no birth date? Therefore, he was never alive. And if you look it up, they will tell you Muhammad's birth date as Allah. In fact, Allah is not God. So let's watch. What is Allah's birth date? They would literally go to what is the date of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, that's not Allah. In other words, Allah doesn't have a birth date. So let's watch what this guy is saying.
The word is God. God, because he's the word, became flesh according to the scripture. And according to his flesh, he's born of the tribe of Judah, a descendant of David.
No, he is Israel himself. He is Jacob. He's not born of the tribe of Judah. And his favorite son is Joseph. And Jesus comes out of the tribe of Joseph, not Judah. Hello.
So that's how I can say God is of the tribe of Israel according to what? His flesh. So you need to deal with this argument.
God is Israel himself. He's not going to be his own son. Stop listening to these people.
The Vatican represents the real powers of this world, not Jewish at all. The Jewish yarmulke, that's a Catholic symbol, not Jewish. So you need to understand that if there's a conspiracy going on, it's Rome.
And Rome is just a continuation of ancient Egypt. And in ancient Egypt, they used to worship Baal. So let's watch. And he did which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He built up again the high places and the altars of Baal. And he made his son work with familiar spirits and use enchantments. So the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son in the house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, all the Lord that my servant Moses commanded them. They hearken not. So Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed. Because Manasseh king of Judah have done these abominations, behold, the Lord said, I will bring such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, because they have done which was evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger since the days their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even on to this day. And by now we know that's a Revelation story. So let's watch.
If there's ever been a truth on this earth, the Vatican is behind the demise of America and the whole world. All you've got to do is look at Washington, D.C., and understand that Caesar, the seat of power for the Roman Empire, was called Capitol Hill. And that's why we today have a Capitol Hill. And the word capital is a Latin word for money. And always money had a dome. It's called domus. It's the power, dynamite, domus, the power of money. And consequently, that's why our capital has a dome, the Capitol Dome. And under the domus, you have the Senate, the United States Senate. No, the Roman Senate.
Remember, it went from Egypt to Greece to Rome. They're the same eagle. And you got to mix in Iran with that too, Persia. Because some of the Vatican popes are literally from Iran. So they're one big eagle family with a bunch of different feathers.
And on both sides of the presidential podium where the president stands to give his State of the Union message, on both sides are 8-foot-high fasces, a bundle of sticks with a hatchet head. They are Roman symbols for world fascism.
Remember, Italy was fascist. Therefore, they worship the Baal, just like built for all ages. Now all the tribes which were together revoked the house of my father, and they sacrificed unto the heifer Baal. Assyrians. Hello, remember, some of the popes came from Iran. Same region. And they're down with this.
Page 1644, when the Quran swears by the moon. It doesn't say by Allah, it says, yea, verily, by the moon. I get curious. Why are they swearing by the moon?
Don't forget, Judaism and Islamic started around the same time in the 7th century, because in the 7th century is when the Europeans converted to Judaism. That's around the same time that Islam started. And they're both under the Roman banner.
Here's his footnote. The moon was worshipped as a deity in times of darkness, end quote. So, you will have to refute Yusuf Ali. You will have to refute all of the Muslim scholars who say, in order to understand this book, the Quran, you must look at the pagan religion surrounding it to understand what went on and why what is today.
Remember, the Quran was written centuries after the Ethiopian original tongues. Therefore, they could just copy it and act like they were the originators or they're the continuation of it. No, you just made up your own stuff with your own God who doesn't even have a birthday.
Today. Next question. Did the Arabs build temples to the moon god in Arabia? Yes. All you have to do is trot over to the library. You can pick up Gertrude Thompson's book, or better yet, Wendell Phillips has a tremendous book, pictures of a huge moon temple. Now, did Arab tribes give the moon god different names/titles? Now,
remember, Arabs are from North Africa, and they went into Europe and then came back into Africa.
This is another logical fallacy that Dr. Badawi did. You cannot read back into ancient times fine linguistic distinctions made today. That's why one book will say Allah's a name, one encyclopedia, another encyclopedia will say it's a title. A name is a title and a title is a name. Sometimes authors use one word as opposed to the other for nothing more reason than simply they like it.
Hello. So pay attention.
No matter which way you go, if you say that the Quran is the supreme authority, then why would Muhammad have to go to a lower authority to verify the supreme one? That literally makes no sense, so that destroys that altogether. So then this would mean that if Muhammad's in doubt about the Quran, go ask the people who've been reading it before, the scriptures before you. That means the scriptures that came...
Ethiopia. Don't forget, Ethiopia has the oldest, most complete Bible on earth, and all Bibles are translated out of the Ethiopian original tongues, which was written over 1,200 years before the KJV version and centuries before the Quran.
Came before is the supreme authority that verifies the Quran. So if the Quran is not in line with those, that means the Quran's a lie, and Muhammad would know that he's actually not a real prophet. This is the dilemma of Islam. The Islamic dilemma is that the Quran affirms the previous scriptures as authoritative, yet it contradicts them, which shows that...
Hello. Do you know this? Stan is any country that was Arab.
Turks are from Central Asia. They are in the same cultural linguistic group as Mongolians, Koreans, and the Japanese. I'm gonna let you sit on that one for a moment. I take that in. Japanese, Koreans, Mongolians, and Turks are the same cultural linguistic group. Do this as an exercise. Find a Turk and stand him next to a Korean and have the Korean start speaking Korean and have the Turk start speaking Turkish. It is crazy cool.
Hello. Pay attention. Follow God, not man. Jagai.
What a kiss up, make it go all. I do a fun and ganja can roll.